topic is construction and demolition waste management for sustainable development. Construction and demolition waste, as we know that in India, one of the fastest growing industries is construction, and it is expected to continue growing exponentially with the increase in urban population, industrialization, and modernization. The increase in the number of buildings, expansion of urban infrastructure such as roads, bridges, flyovers, or railway tracking, and demolition of old buildings has also resulted in immense amount of waste being generated in the form of debris that is called construction and demolition waste, including building waste materials or whatever it may be so called. Therefore, to deal with the issue of rising C&D waste generation in India, there are so many rules has come out already. For example, hazardous waste management rules, biomedical waste management rules, municipal solid waste management rules, battery rules. There are so many things. Among them, by observing the C&D waste problems in the major cities, the government of India came to notify on construction demolition waste management rules in 2016. Same rules has been adopted in all over the states of India. The said rules apply to every waste resulting from construction, remodeling, repair, and demolition of any civil structure of individual, that may be any individual house or organization or government authority that generates construction and demolition waste. So this rule we have to know, otherwise we cannot manage the sustainable management of this environment. So to go for the sustainable management, there is a act, there is a rules, we should follow that, then only we can go sustainable life. So in these rules, what are the objectives? The objectives of the construction demolition waste, henceforth I will call it C&D waste management policy, are to ensure that no C&D waste is dumped in open space by 2023. As per that rules, wherever the waste generates from the construction or demolition, that waste has to be disposed of in a designated area by the end of 2023. And another one is to ensure at least 50% of C&D waste generated is reused or recycled by 2023. That means at least minimum 50% of the waste has to be disposed, that is recycled or reused properly as a phase-wise manner. C&D waste impact on environment. Friends, as we know that as per the urbanization, civilization and modernization, we are destroying the environment and utilizing the natural resources for our livelihood. So what is the impact on environment of these C&D waste? I'll go through in detail. Indiscriminate dumping of C&D waste is a visually annoying and conveys poor enforcement of C&D waste in a city, as we are observing every day in our city and outskirts of the city. Due to lack of options for dumping in designated sites, low-lying areas or abandoned quarries, vacant plots, or sometimes even the outskirts of the city often become targets for dumping of debris from the construction and demolition of C&D waste in the city or outside the city. And also, often C&D waste is dumped on roadsides quietly by C&D waste generators. Whoever the generating of the C&D waste, they are simply disposing nearby vacant place or all along the roadsides or along the backside of the rivers. Private contractors remove waste to privately owned low-lying land for a price. For example, I am going to construct a small house. Whatever the waste is generated during demolition or construction, I will give it to a private party, a truck or a tractor fellow. That fellow, for the sake of earning money, he will go and throw on vacant place or vacant sites or all along the natural canals, or more commonly dump it in an unauthorized manner along roadsides or other public land. C&D debris, that is waste, is being indiscriminately disposed along river banks or dumped in drains, that is natural nalas, along the natural nalas, which hamper flow, thereby encourage mosquitoes breeding due to stagnant sewage or water or cause floods. Sometimes a person unknowingly disposes the solid C&D waste along the natural nalas. During the rainy season, it will obstruct the natural flow. It may lead to the floods. Cases of reported RCND wastes are used to illegally fill up water bodies and wetlands around urban centers for creating land for real estate development. This is one of the things we have already heard every day. The land developers going to fill the nearby lakes, that is unauthorized lakes. That means nobody knows about that lakes. So that fellow will fill the debris year by, and one fine day he will say that this is my land, and afterwards he will creating a land for the selling to the some of the peoples, and there is a disputes where what we are observing day to day life in our the surrounding areas. As C&D waste forms a part of solid waste, municipal solid waste. This C&D waste is a part of the solid waste. It gets disposed in landfills. That means the municipal solid also contains this C&D waste, as this is the cheapest option of disposal of C&D waste. My dear friends, I would like to say details about the site selection. What is the site selection criteria? See, we are the pollution control board officers. All the states having their respective state pollution control boards. As per the 2016 C&D waste rules, we have to identify a designated site to dispose the C&D waste. That means we have to coordinate with the local authorities. So how to select this site? That is very, very important part of this selection criteria. The concerned department in the state government dealing with land shall be responsible for providing suitable sites and hand over the sites to the concerned local authority for development, operation, and maintenance, which shall ultimately be given to the operators. Either may be a private or a government. We can hand over the site for the further development and operations. The competent authority is the authority. Now, who is the competent authority? You can ask some question. Competent authority means in district level, district DC, district commissioner or a municipal commissioner. The local authority shall coordinate with the concerned organizations for giving necessary approvals and clearance to the operators. The processing or recycling site shall be large enough to last for 20 to 25 years, keeping in view of further development of the law cities based on the city, based on the present scenario. So keeping in view of that, we have to uh, identify the land, and the large quantity of the land, how much land is required. We have to identify and finalize. The processing or recycling site shall be away from habitation. So as you know, today we are facing a lot of problems from the industrial sectors and other sectors. This is nothing but one type of industry, waste processing industry. So it should be away from the habitation clusters, that is residential area, forest areas, water bodies, monuments, national parks, wetlands, and places of important cultural, historical, or religious interest, so that it should not be harmful in future to anyone. A buffer zone of no development shall be maintained around solid waste, that is C&D waste processing and disposal facility. That means we have to keep buffer zone of maybe 500 meter or 1 kilometer, like that, depends upon the city. We have to keep a buffer zone, so there shall not be any obstruction to the future development. The buffer zone shall be prescribed on case-to-case basis by the local authority in consultation with the concerned state pollution control board. Site shall be fenced or hedged and provided with proper gate to monitor incoming vehicles or other modes of transportation. So that means that proposed site shall be fenced, and we have to provide a gate, whatever the waste comes in the trucks or lorries or trucks, anything, we have to note down at the gate, entrance gate. So provisions of weighbridge, that is more important, because this is a business criteria involved in this, because any trucks who come with the C&D weight, it has to be measured properly, and based on the ton basis, they have processor will charge the amount. So for that purpose, we need a weighbridge at land site, and fire protection equipment and other facilities shall be provided in the site area. Utilities such as drinking water and sanitary facilities, that is the most important for day-to-day activities in the processing area, and lighting arrangements also to be provided by the operators during night hours shall be also required. So safety provisions like including health inspections of workers at landfill sites shall be carried out, because if anything happens before going to the uh, operating of the site, we have to measure the health aspect of the workers, and after sometimes it may affect the health. So that is also very important. In order to prevent pollution from processing or recycling operations, the following problems shall be made, namely provision of storm water drains to prevent stagnation of surface water. In the processing area, if it is anything during rainy season, that water should not be stagnated and causing water pollution. So we have to see that proper storm water drains will be provided in that area. Provision of paved or concrete surface in selected areas, not in entire area. Paved concrete surface has to be provided so that any dust mitigation will be provided, will be avoided in the processing area. Or the recycling facility for minimizing dust and damage to the soil. Prevention of noise pollution from processing and recycling plant. This is a concrete waste processing site, so that there is a generation of noise. We have to keep in mind to reduction the noise level, and provision for treatment of effluent, if any, to meet the discharge norms as per Environmental Protection Act 1986. So we can ask, what is the treatment plant, why it is required? See, the waste, it contains any othering material. So we have to be washed off in a proper way, or to segregate to sand cores and other things, we need treatment plants. So treatment plants, if any effluent is also generated, it has to be treated properly and recycled back. Work zone air quality at the processing or recycling site and ambient air quality at the vicinity shall be monitored. A vegetative boundary is most important part of the selection of site area, and after selecting the site area, the vegetative boundary, that is 4 to 5 in a zigzag manner plantations has to be provided, and we have to select the fast growing and native to the region, so that it will be adapted for the particular area. They should have thick canopy cover, preferably perennial plants. The following projects shall be exempted from the norms of pollution from dust and noise as mentioned above. Whatever I told you already, from those points it will be exempted. For which project? For construction work where at least 80% of the construction and demolition waste is recycled or reused in situ. That means a very big project, wherever it comes in the city, if the person is a project proponent going to recycled back, it will be exempted from those norms. And sufficient buffer area is also that fellow has to maintain. It should not affect the surface. So friends, why I am telling all those rules, and now I am going to tell the about consent and authorization is required for C&D, that is construction demolition waste processing facility. In entire India, there is state pollution control boards. So we have already categorized the industries as red, orange, and green category based on the potentiality of the pollution. And one more category recently declared by this Central Pollution Control Board is white category. That white category industries are not required any consent. And the C&D waste facilities comes under orange category, that is medium polluting activity. Applicability EIA, that is Environmental Impact Assessment 2006, there is a notification, so that is not attracting for this project. CAP and CFO, what is CAP? CAP is consent for establishment. That means prior to the identification of the land or after identification of land. So I have actually started how to apply and obtain consent from the State Pollution Control Board. I already briefed about the, I said the activity comes under orange category, and CAP and CFO is required for the facility. Unit of the facility as specified in sub rule shall apply in form number 1. That form number is available. As per that, they have to fill the details and enclose all the enclosures and apply for the pollution control board. So pollution control board officers internal visit the site and if it is satisfied, we will give the authorization in form number 2. And the local body authority shall prepare annual report in form 3. That is next procedure. That means every year local authority has to submit annual report. That means what is the waste generated and what is the quantity, how they have disposed and how they have recycled back. All details is available. So they have to fill in the annual report and submit. And in turn, the State Pollution Control Board will submit the details to the Central Pollution Control Board for number 4. Friends, I would like to tell you brief about guidelines on environmental management of C&D waste. Hello. Of C&D waste regarding noise. This is about noise management. Construction demolition activities often generate noise vibration which leads to complaints from the public. Unacceptable noise is a nuisance and activities associated in C&D waste processing activity are associated with perceptible noise increases. Noise from C&D waste management facility is considered an environmental nuisance if the construction or demolition activity is conducted outside the stipulated hours. That means there is a specification of timings for operation of C&D waste. If it operates more than that period, they are attracting the complaints from the neighbors. So some health problems caused due to excessive exposure to undesirable noise levels, including sleep problems, insomnia, and fatigue. Fall in speech communication disturbance disease happened because of the noise pollution. And this is what I am showing is the schedule, that is ambient air quality standards in respect to noise regulation. So this activity is considered as an industrial area. The noise level should not exceed 75 decibels during daytime and 65 decibels during nighttime. Actually, nighttime is not opted for operation of C&D waste. This is regarding air pollution. While handling of this activity, dust emissions arising from C&D activities are an environmental nuisance both within the site and beyond the plant site or boundary. Dust from various C&D activities release wide range of particle sizes and material types and can cause both serious health problems ranging from eye irritation, nose, mouth, and respiratory problems. The larger air particles settle out of the air quickly and are hazard to the operators. During the operation of the plant, there is a large particles emitted from the processing area and it may affect to the operators. And the smaller particles will carry to from kilometers, like it may affect to the surrounding premises, surrounding habitation. Air pollution mitigation in C&D operation. How to mitigate the air pollution measure? Areas to be earmarked for delivery or deposition of C&D waste. In the C&D waste processing site, we have to earmark the where it has to be dumping the incoming waste and how to hand over the processed site, like that we have to earmark, and a sheet cover over the debris. Whatever the dumping material, we have to cover with the zinc sheet or something to avoid the uh, carry of dust to the environment. Over designated transport vehicles at waste processing sites. Signboards to be displayed indicating do's and don'ts. Dust, that is fugitive emissions separation system in place. Water sprinklers to be sprayed at all unloading points. That sprinkling system has to be provided in the site. This is National Ambient Air Quality Standards as is already specified. That means particulate matter. Major problem associated in the processing site is dust particulate matter. That is PM10 and PM2.5. And what is the annual range? The parameters has to be already fixed. It has to be operated within the stipulated norms. That means it should not exceed. So while monitoring the air quality, we have to take care of the dust emission. Based on that, facilitator should operate. This is regarding water pollution abatement measures. Water requirement. Water is required for dust suppression, for plantation, and for drinking purpose. and also for domestic purpose, it includes everything. Use of treated wastewater and sprinkler for dust suppression. Site operates need to demonstrate both control of visible dust in particulate besides fine dust from activities within their premises. Treated waste water to be used for washings or unloading areas, roads to suppress dust. Import treated wastewater from other STPs for dust suppression. That means wherever the water, treated water is available from the nearby city, sewage treatment plants, that water is enough for using our water sprinkler system instead of using fresh water. Wastewater management. We should adopt a zero effluent discharge system. That means whatever the wastewater comes out, we have to recycle it back. So that means we have to adopt zero effluent discharge system. All wash down of vehicles and equipments will take place in designated areas, and washed water will be treated for use within plant for separation of dust. I would like to say something about I have been deputed to Melbourne, Australia for looking after the processing site from the Pollution Control Board, along with from various state board officers also came with me, and we went to the Melbourne city and visited so many C&D waste processing areas in Melbourne. Out of these, Win Bins, Rekanoplast, these are all the C&D waste processing places and operated by the private owners. In next slides, I will show the pictures of those sites. This is the shot taken in Melbourne C&D waste processing area. Win bins. That means these are the bins which are provided in the C&D demolition sites or a generating site. That means you can make out all sorts of waste filled in these bins, either steel or debris or plastic. Everything you can make out in these bins. This is one Win Bins C&D waste processing area. You can see the closed shed and maintaining equipments. This is also one of the segregating area. That means you can make out in one bin that is only POP material or like that, and steel material, cement material are separated, and steel parts also separated. And that compound wall is made up of second-hand material that is removed from the building. This is Outlook, one of the firm name. We went there. That means waste segregation, including e-waste and other waste, you can make out in that shop. This is the refurbishing items. That means, for example, a person demolishing a commercial building like IT building or any government buildings, it contains varieties of materials, including computers, e-waste materials, so many things. Out of that, they will select reusable materials, and then they will sold it to poor people or anybody are ready to buy that material in lower rates. This is one of the C&D processing site. This is actually what we needed. In India, we are not provided like this system. We are openly handling in open area that may cause to the surrounding area. So that means there is a shed provided by the operator. We can make out the proper sunlight arrangement without providing any electrical system, and that conveyor belt system, crushing system, and these vehicles also. We can make out the operators, how they have wear the gloves, helmets, shoes. So this is the real picture of the C&D waste processing area. This is also already I told you the compound wall provided around the processing area with second-hand materials. Next slide. Sorry, 1 minute. In this slide, you can make out the vehicles which are carrying C&D waste from the city, and like that in municipality solid waste management in our cities. the designated vehicles also they have provided, particularly for bringing C&D waste, designated vehicles. This is also second-hand materials which are carried and taken from the demolishing buildings and available for the any persons going to utilize it. This is one of the dustbin. That means the same dustbin has been carried from the demolished building. It contains, you can make out all sorts of debris, including C&D waste and this plantation materials, twigs, wood, and everything. So after reaching the site, they will segregate in proper way, and as per the available material, they will sell the recycling to the metal industry, reprocessing industry. Next, you can make out the transporting vehicle here. See how it looks, very nicely designed and provided with the labels. And this is the C&D waste carrying vehicle, and it is entering into the one room for weighing. So that means there is no harmful to the surrounding peoples while carrying the waste on the roads. So in India, what is happening? You are observing municipal solid waste how they are carrying in openly, and it look not hygienic to the surrounding peoples or roadside. It may affect to the roadside vehicle riders. This is one of the environmental solutions outlook. They have collected the usable items from the demolishing building and selling for the publics. Next slide. So in this, we can make out the beds, what we are using in the residential houses or lodges or somewhere. So that means a person who is going to demolishing a building in Melbourne or in abroad, the entire building they will hand it out to the C&D waste processor. That means whatever the materials are present in the building, that fellow will collect all sorts of materials. But what about in our states in India, we used to sell all the materials except only the bare building. So this is not the thing. The whatever the waste is present as it is in a present manner, it has to be handed over to C&D waste. That means that fellow will separate it, segregate it, and sold it to other types of industry for another process. This is one of the site we have observed C&D waste, how they have segregated and potted out from the concrete slabs. This is a huge site. You can make out how the this one, the JCB or something, that concrete cutter is cutting the concrete slabs and separating the steel from that concrete. And after that, that concrete will be separated and all sorts of jellies and other things will be heaped in a separate manner. This is the steel separated from the concrete. Next. Myself and the officers from various parts of the India visited in Melbourne. This you can see in a proper way so that you can understand how the plant is there. That whatever the boulders or concrete waste comes from demolished buildings, how it will be processed. This is the processing plant. We have to, they will feed the material into the jaw crusher. Then how the plant will works and separate it, some dust, debris, sand, everything will be separated in a proper way. This is also one of the part of the C&D waste processing unit. This is one more C&D waste carrying vehicle. I have taken the photographs. You can see how it is closed while carrying the C&D waste. There will be absolutely no generation of dust from the truck. This is also one of the CNT waste processing site. Next slide. This is one of the refurbishing unit. Anybody can come and buy the second-hand materials. Like in India, they also sell the second-hand materials instead of wasting or crushing. This one, that brown color, what you are observing is the wood chips. Whatever the wood, waste wood is available, it comes along with CNT waste. They will make into a smaller chips and designed it, and it will be used for the gardens for looking in a very nice way. This is our team visited Melbourne. From second person is IAS officer. He also came with us. He's from Assam. Next slide, please. Same our team. My dear friends, in this way, I would like to conclude my part. Before going to thank our department and Srimati Rekha, I would like to brief about the present scenario in India. You can ask some questions. Presently in India, there are no proper management of CNT waste, except in some major cities. In Bangalore, that is in Karnataka, only one plant has been set up. That name is Rock Crystals in a 10 acres of land. So there is a wide scope for the youngsters or new entrepreneurs in CNT waste. They can set up the plant. Government will allot a site on free of cost. Only thing you can get the license. After that, if you want to set up a plant, you can charge the waste producers so that you can earn lot of money out of it from the waste. So I would like to request the new entrepreneurs set up a new plants in your district or in your municipal corporations. And major thing is, friends, we have to understand the present scenario. That means what we are facing the problems, maybe COVID or whatever it may be. Earlier, there were no viruses like Ebola, AIDS, or so many diseases, what we are observing. That means due to the imbalance in the environment by the activity of human beings, there is a natural imbalance. Because of that, the nature will balance by evolving varieties of microorganisms, what we are not unable to see. So what we have to do is we have to reduce the usage of natural resources, and whatever the materials are available, we have to reuse it, recycle it, and the material from the waste we have to recover it. So friends, we have to adopt natural system. That means in our life we have to adopt simple life leading. Otherwise, if you want to become richer and richer, the richer peoples will pollute the environment. So in what way, I cannot say right now. You can understand. If we want to become richer and richer, so ultimately we are going to construct a very bigger buildings. That means natural resources we are deploying. So friends, we have to adopt eco-friendly system in our life. As a civil engineers, you are all professors and R&D students and MTech students or maybe BE students. In civil field, better you have to go for restore an ecosystem, that whatever you already exhausted the nature system and its natural resources, the whatever the natural resources available already excavated from the nature, it has to be preserve it, reuse it, recycle it, instead of going for the fresh mining, or we have to avoid fresh mining activity.